This particular place I was at, the Lettuce Kindergarten, started because lynx, as in little lions, those kind of lynx, were eating the guy's sheep, which is a problem we probably don't have in Scotland. And he was beginning to think that his farm was a non-goer. At the same time, the Norwegian government passed a law saying that every child already has the right to a kindergarten place between 1 and 6 or 7. Every child is entitled to be outdoors for a full day a week. And many kindergarten thought it was simply easier to be somewhere that would allow outdoorsness to be kind of every day. So actually, these kids are in helping with this farm. They feed the cows, they grow tomatoes, they sell the tomatoes to raise money for the kindergarten. They watch fascinated as dead cows are dissected. Nobody faints or complains. This is the thing they're most interested in, to understand about the biology of animals. And their immune systems are apparently measurably boosted by the fact that they have connections with animals at an early age. I was doing an interview with the farmer there, and his English, as usual, was perfect, until I came across the words. I had asked him, did he have any problems with health and safety? Health and safety, what's that? And I said, it's kind of, well, it's sort of people who just say no to things that are kind of common sense, you know. But he said, no. So they had a long conversation in Norwegian trying to find what a similar thing would be. Many people say Norway has managed to duck this because it's not in the EU. But of course, to be able to sell into the EU, you have to adopt the same standards. The ludicrousness of dividing people between city and country, children from nature, these kind of artificial divisions, all based on a tremendous contempt, actually, amongst professionals for the common sense of people, is a pretty strong indicator of where society is. I'd say another one is actually the use of public language. I'm sitting here in the Dave Allen mode, but the Irish have long been a set of people whose public and private language has very little gap. And that's a healthier outlook. Scotland, we win formal debating championships as long as there's rule and structure. But in informal situations, most people would rather drive to hospital than have to do what I'm doing now. Because people have become fearful of judgment and doubtful about their own capacity and uncertain about the peer experience of everyone in the room. I'm just assuming you probably know what I'm on about, and if you don't, you'll tell me soon. But this is what we need to get to, because these bad signs, the signs of not being able to speak in public, it's a bad sign. It's a bad sign about the emotional and mental health of a group of people. This inability to trust kids roughly to be amongst animals, as its most, extreme, I was going to say, for heaven's sake, what are we doing? Here is an attempt to set up a Norwegian kindergarten in Scotland. It's called the Barnhage, which is the same name. It was set up by a woman who lived in Norway. You'll spot a few differences. First of all, it was impossible to have the entrance to the Barnhage being publicly viewable because paedophiles might gather to watch the children. So, as you can see, they have to be in a segregated area where they can't run out because, after all, they might get lost and kill themselves on roads nearby. And here too is a table which cannot be used. Anybody guess why? It's so high that the kids might get up on it, jump off onto their heads and break their necks. I mean, this, it would be funny if it wasn't so pitiful. Because what we're teaching the kids is, we're teaching passivity, we're teaching this kind of looks all right to me, but what? And I'm not suggesting that we just churn kids out the door and let them run havoc. In Norway, when they take kids out around certain outdoor areas, they're very careful to go along and see where beneath a certain tree a kid might well fall, and if there's a stump there, they saw it away. They look for the obvious little accidents that will happen, and their motto is, children need little accidents. In fact, Roscoe's slogan is, children need little accidents here. But between the high hegians and the masses, this big swirling mist of uncertainty about people's capacity to make sensible decisions freezes any kind of progress. And it's not getting better fast.